Hello, everybody, and welcome this morning, afternoon, whatever time it is for you. I really quickly wanted to jump on in this absolute state of elation because I want you to experience it as well. Again, as always, I know there's loads of stuff going on in the world right now, especially here in Canada, where we've got this massive all these incredible souls who have gathered in Ottawa, in the capital of the country, who are really speaking up for everybody. Well, let's just jump right in there and just say it was interesting. I haven't been paying attention to mainstream or any news, actually. I've just shied away from all of it because I know that it's good. I know that it ends in good. And the less influence that I have anywhere, well, it doesn't influence my mind. And I just keep going with the good that I know that it is and what it does. Because for me, the new has already begun. And listen, this is a big conversation about separation, about like how, people talk about going to 5D and, the new earth and new world, whatever it is. You cannot have the old and the new without one another. So all that to say, welcome to the new. This is it. And we're just seeing aspects of the old crumble, right? That all being said, yeah, what's going on in Ottawa is phenomenal. And really all I wish to say about that is that it was interesting, or is interesting. If you only pay attention to mainstream media, you see that like the Canadians are the ones that are up there are a fringe group, as per the Prime Minister of the country, who technically represents the people, and they are the people, all like they are, we're not, there's no separation. Again, this thing about separation, there is none. If you were to look at other countries presenting the news about Canada, it's very different. It's very, very different. So I shall put some links below for you to tune into, because there's a stark black and white between what the Canadian press is covering and what's being covered around the world. So let's put all our differences aside, and let's just look at what's really going on and see what's really going on, because again, as always, there's different perspectives. And the one that we've been shown for the last 2 years is, well, there's alternatives. Okay. So look, so that's that. And the other thing I wanted to mention now, let's talk about I'm going to just talk about Sandra Walter, who I've mentioned before, ascensionpath.com. I believe it was last week or on the weekend where she put out a newsletter saying essentially all you need to know is this, is that there will be magnetic fluctuations occurring this week. And aren't there? There are. And well, let's just jump into what is that and how do they affect us? Well, it's the Earth's magnetic field is and has been for quite a while dissipating. That's a different conversation. It is actually but what to say, what I wish to say, and which is not covered enough, is how what are these fluctuations actually doing, and what does a diminishing magnetic field mean for us sentient beings, not just humans but animals as well. You might notice that your animals, your dog, your cat, or even farm animals, whatever, are a little bit not normal. They're not acting as they normally do, and it's the same with people. Oh goodness, talk about fluctuations, that very word. I had a conversation with someone 2 days ago where it was like, actually I woke up on, what day is it? It's Wednesday. So I woke up on Monday in an absolute state of bliss. I was high as a kite, over the moon, whatever, kind of like right now. And then I took a call from somebody. I was just about to eat my breakfast, so it's about 3 p.m. actually, because that's when I got hungry. And but I was like, oh, I'll take this call, or I'll reach out because this person's writing to me. And long story short, deleted that person because there was such a there was such a oh boy, a fluctuation between, you know, it's a long, in short, the resonance was gone, absolutely gone. So that's what this time is about as well. You've probably seen and experienced it yourselves. I mean, we are ending Mercury retrograde tomorrow, which means that, you know, communications over the last 3 weeks, well, we've had the opportunity to let things come up, deal, or let things integrate and deal properly. You know, if that means you've been sort of you know, looking like you're not dealing with something or someone, you know, because it's really quite pronounced within you, and you've chosen that route to let it just contemplate about it, as opposed to, you know, react and just engage in fighting, whatever. Tomorrow is a good day to have the conversation, or tomorrow, you know, anytime after tomorrow. It's Mercury retrograde, and that's what happens. Communications get funked up, they do, and not just between sentient beings, but also with comms, with communications, with telecommunications. And, you know, you might have experienced that, you know, internet going down and blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. Anyways, so magnetic flux and the diminishing magnetic field affects us greatly, which hasn't been talked about enough. And there's two sides to this, of course, because duality, which is a beautiful thing. And so either during this flux time, our being, the way that we think and our consciousness, one can say, is being amplified wherever we are, the place that we're at. So for me, yes, as I am, you know, it's boom, just big, and to make decisions like delete that person the other day, and actually a few more, because that resonance is gone now. It's gone, and why? I don't need that. Right, and neither do they. On some sort of level, we can go our separate paths, and that's okay. So you know, that clarity has been really big. So for the person that's like in tune, and you know, we amplify that, the sunshininess, whatever. And then on the flip side, you know, if one is not dealing with stuff, hasn't been dealing with stuff, whatever it may be, a partner, an unruly child, situations, things, whatever, work, whatever, you know, if not dealing with that, it's going to amplify too, you know, with Mercury, connected with Mercury retrograde, giving you the opportunity to deal with things. Those things that we haven't, that we've been pushing off and waiting for somebody else maybe to make the first move, or whatever. No, it's our time. It's our time to just step up. And that's what Canada is doing. Do you see how it's all connected, and there is no separation between like any of these conversations, you know, be it the magnetic flux or Mercury retrograde or what's happening in Canada. It's all connected, all of it is. Anyways, so yeah, and the magnetic fluctuations, they continue on this week, as per Sandra Walter, but you might have seen that, you might have noticed, I haven't checked mainstream media, but with Ben Davidson and the Schumann resonance and all that kind of stuff, yeah, we have had a massive solar flare, an M-class solar flare a few days ago. And when that happens for me, I've said this before, I get explosions in my head in the morning and and or as I sleep, and I know it's coming, and it came. So actually, that's all connected with the fluctuations. That's connected with Sandra Walter. It's not separate. You know, we respond to the sun, we respond to the earth, and the earth and the sun are our consciousness as a humanity. So that's why things are really shifting big time, because there's a great portion of the collective right now on the Hill in Ottawa speaking up for everybody else. with doctors, with physicians, with nurses, lawyers, what some people in government have been doing for the last a couple of years, maybe not right from the beginning, but when they realize that, wait a second, this doesn't make sense, great many names, there's loads of people, which I've talked about before, when we didn't, as a collective, really listen to them, now we can't not hear what our dear brothers and sisters, the truckers, are relaying. This is it. This is it. Whatever that means to you. I know what it means to me, but I let you define what this is it means. So then we jump, so the solar flares, the M-class flare, we received a coronal mass ejection. It arrived last night, whereas a solar flare, we get that quick, like 8 minutes, boom, there are immediate, you can see what's happening on the earth, wherever that flare has been directed by the sun. Please go to Ben Davidson's channel, Suspicious Observers, on YouTube. The man he knows what he's talking about. But then, so in this conversation comes catastrophism and cataclysms and all this stuff, but really quickly, I won't go there so much right now. It's a series of conversations, but look, so we've got the weakening magnetic field, more solar activity, geomagnetic storms, grid system failures, blah, 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 blah. Right now, I'm having difficulty with actually recording just fine here, but for some odd reason, WhatsApp is down, as well as YouTube. How interesting. Anyways, different, whatever is what it is. Take a breath, man. Take a breath. I just want to describe to you what, as I said to you, the morning of the solar flare, which I think it was Sunday, Monday, felt it, whatever, knew it was coming. Sort of the effects for me come like either later in the day or the next day. So yesterday, goodness me, I woke up with all of this just screaming at me, screeching, great pain in my head, and it started out like in my traps, in my neck, and not even a good restorative yoga with tennis ball sort of self massage on the ground. Not even that. And I was like. And then what I realized, because I don't think I ate until about 12:01 or whatever. And when I ate, then my goodness, I realized, God, girl, you like, I was ravenously hungry. And I remembered at that time that actually to receive the energy that's coming in from the solar flare, I gotta eat. That's how I ground that energy. I'd completely forgotten, and I should not fast by any means. So I ate, and it helped to ground what I was feeling. And I said to somebody, I said to my housemate actually yesterday, I was like, we're talking about the fluctuations and whatever. And I said, I don't see any of it as a bad thing. I don't see my headache related to, there's an infinite realm of potentials as to why anything happens. And I really, what I just said to him was, look, we've had this flare, cosmic rays are coming in right now. We're receiving them. Ultimately, go horizontal for me. Right. And I did actually, I breathed with like a couple hundred people yesterday, and I fell asleep. And I was yawning through it. I was so, and then the message was, sleep, baby, go to bed. And I did after that. I chilled out, whatever. But then, yeah, ate and wanted to just carry on with that, you know. Oh, what I was saying to my dear housemate was like, we're receiving these cosmic rays, we're receiving light, and it's more than we've ever had. And it's expanding us, so that, you know, and I feel it in my crown, chakra. Oh goodness, third eye, totally like all up here. Earlier I was feeling a tightness in my solar plexus. I mean, all of it just makes sense. It just makes sense. So yeah, by evening yesterday, so I was like, I gotta eat. And then so I did, but then that turned into eating for like, I felt a panic attack coming on towards the end of the night, my end of the night. So by like 7:30, 8 o'clock. And I think I've talked about this before, like food was my thing, my vice, where, and sometimes still is, you know, where I'm like, when I'm having issues that like, sometimes I just want to eat through them, you know, and I am very cognizant of that, and it's all okay, you know, it's very much okay. But last night I was like, baby, I mean, literally, it was already dark. I'm not. It was obviously dark, but I had been in bed, and I got up, put my robe on, and I was like, I'm gonna go and just gonna go and have a banana and some almond butter. I'm just gonna have that. I took a big breath, and I was like, no, stop it. Just go to bed. Just go to sleep now. And I fell asleep like that. It was just after 8 o'clock, and they slept like there was no problem. Whereas the night before, it was like it took me a great deal of time to fall asleep, and I was up at like 1. I was up at 11 actually, because I thought it was time to go. I thought it was time to start the day. And then, yeah, sleep was, it was sort of elusive. Anyways, so I went to bed, and I woke up like sunshine this morning. I can't tell you how brilliant this day has been. And that's why I make these videos, because to get your state to get yourself into a state of goodness, if you're not feeling good, you know, is we've got to think better than we're feeling. So even yesterday, when I wasn't feeling good, I was still thinking better than I was feeling, you know, or at least I was reminding myself of that. By the end of the day, it had all sort of collapsed. I fell asleep like a child, or like a kitten, and I woke up this morning, boom, ready, absolutely ready to go. And you know, I filled my cup already, me, myself, and I, doing all my various things. And then I went out, and I was like, oh, I've got so much. I slept an extra 2 hours. That too, magnetic fluctuations. You've just got to listen to your body. Okay. And so that might mean eating more, eating less. It might mean sleeping more, sleeping less. But switch off from what's going on around you. Tune into the news if you really, really, really need to, have to. Tune into it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but not what you would normally do. Get offline and do your best to feel good, whatever that is, whatever that is. You know, I sent a message this morning to somebody who's in quite advanced stages of cancer, and I know she's just kind of like, you know what, I'm gonna have a cigarette, I don't care, because that makes me feel good, you know. And so what I said to her in a message this morning is, sweetheart, when you light up that cigarette, just say to yourself, oh God, I love you. God, I love this. I love this cigarette so much. I love doing what I'm doing, you know. And even just saying that like puts me in a greater state of bliss, you know. I don't claim to be a doctor. I don't claim to be in anything, just a messenger. These things I share with you work for me, and so I cannot but share them. You really have to get into yourself. We really, really, really have to get into ourselves, you know. So yeah, to the heroin addict who's watching and saying, oh, Manj just said, let's go, you know. No, that's not what I'm saying. Absolutely not. And I've tricked myself with that as well. Not with heroin, but like with chocolate or something, you know. I've tricked myself too. So it's practice. So when practice is when you're not doing that thing that you judge as bad. Gosh, we've been all over the place in this video. And I think I think I want to end it here. There's so much to be said. The flux is going to go on, and actually the sun activity is going to carry on. We're at a solar maximum, which means expect more. Okay, but just know when your child is, you know, if you've got a child that's quote unquote ADD, just know that your child's going to act up, and that's why they're acting up. They're not being unruly because they're just being, you know, little jerks or something. It's not that. We're being affected. Well, not affected. We work in conjunction with the sun and the earth. We really do. So just chill. Everybody just chill out. Take a big breath. Just breathe. Take 3 big breaths, you know, and everybody just chill. And God, if I can say, just look at each other like knowing that, you know, my heart beats and so does yours. Yeah, you know, I've said this in the last video. So actually, I'm going to end it here. Thank you for tuning in. I love you. And Godspeed. Just be good. All right. Just be good to you. And that's going to ripple out to everyone and everything, just like a butterfly's wings. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.